We're chained up by perfectionism, and creativity wants us to be free. And that's also why it's so hard for us to be creative, because a lot of us are not free. The creative process is designed to reconnect you with yourself on a deep soul level. And the way that it does this is by allowing you the opportunity to refine and edit by getting into alignment. The way that you refine and edit is by really getting quiet, tuning in with yourself. When you're tuning in, you get to see and feel what is right. And you know what's right by knowing that you are in alignment. And that is a feeling. That's just something that you know. You can't go out and look for it. And is this what I'm supposed to do? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Which is what we all do all the time. And it's what I've been doing too. You're too big to fit here. I'm not going to say it. Hello. Hi. It is I. It is me. Thank you so much for being back here with me today. I am like already out of breath because I had a huge download come through last night, and I'm still trying to process it. And I wanted to process it with you. I wanted to talk with you about it and see what more comes through as I'm talking out loud about it. Because I find the more that I'm speaking about it out loud, I've been using my voice notes and also voice noting friends. And every time I do that, more information is coming through. So we're going to try it today. Really quickly, before I get into that, I just wanted to do some housekeeping or something. I don't know what to call it. But I'm hosting an AA meeting on it's November. I am hosting an AA meeting on November 24th. It is about energetic hygiene and how to protect and clear your energy. So recognizing what's not yours, being able to clear that, and then being able to protect yourself energetically, the importance of it and all these things. I wanted to do it before the holiday season. So it's just before Thanksgiving, before Christmas, and, this whole period of time where things get crazy and you will be absorbing a lot, right? You'll be absorbing a lot, even with like the sales and all that. That is energy that you are absorbing too. So it's so many things. So we want to make sure that we are protected. And the other thing is I have 2 spaces available for November start dates for my Live Your Soul Purpose in 90 Days program. So in that program, we will be meeting every other week for a live 90-minute session. And then in the off weeks, I'm doing remote energy work for you. And you are also being able to ask any questions. And I go through and send you the whole summary and all these things. And the whole purpose is in that 90 days, you feel like you are living your soul purpose. You are way more aligned with exactly who you are, what you came here to be and do, and you're able to see the things that need to fall away so that you can live really abundantly and freely, sovereignly, right? You're living from the inside out. You get meditations, and we'll be in constant contact throughout those 90 days. So there are 2 spots available, and I will leave the link below so you can get more information and really read through it. So the download that came through for me last night was that perfectionism is an external attack on your internal world. So I was going through this intense like tension and friction about my social media because I have all these grandiose ideas, and I can see that I show up online. I can see I have the vision of it, right? I have the vision of how things turn out, that I can do it, that I'm not annoying to people, that I'm, sharing information that I find valuable and that I love to talk about. Things that are helping me, things that are helping my clients, friends, family, whatever. And but I'm just there's something there, and it's perfectionism, right? Of course, most of the time for a lot of us, I feel like what impedes our creative flow is perfectionism. We are wanting things to be perfect from the outset. And the guides last night, I was trying to make up my plan, and then it just started flowing through. Like, you have to go through the process. The creative process is designed to reconnect you with yourself on a deep soul level. And the way that it does this is by allowing you the opportunity to refine and edit by getting into alignment. Okay. So the way that you refine and edit is by really getting quiet, tuning in with yourself. When you're tuning in, you get to see and feel what is right. And you know what's right by knowing that you are in alignment, right? And that is a feeling. That's just something that you know. It's not you can't necessarily go, you can't go out and look for it. And is this what I'm supposed to do? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Which is what we all do all the time, right? And it's what I've been doing too. What kind of hook do I need? How many times do I post a day? How many times do I whatever? And I always think to myself, I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that. It's like I don't want to be posting every single day. If I am hit with some type of inspiration and I do end up posting every single day, that's literally because I want to do that, right? I do not do stuff that I don't want to do. The problem is sometimes for me is that I get caught up with, am I saying I don't want to do something? Am I saying I don't want to do something because I'm afraid to do that thing versus it's really not like, it's just not the vibe for me. It's on an alignment kind of thing. That's where I struggle because I tend to have that attitude sometimes where it's just like, I'm not fucking doing that. But when I look under the hood, it's like, but I actually do want to do that. I'm just afraid if I do it and I don't get the result that I want, that I'm going to feel sad or it's going to hurt my feelings. So that's where I have to toe the line of not doing something because it's not aligned and not doing something because of fear. And so that is something that is part of the process too. It's part of the journey. Yes, it's part of the journey. And again, the creative process, and this is creating anything. It's doing anything that is a process, right? And it's like even starting a garden. I don't know why a garden keeps coming up when I'm thinking of this, but it's like if you wanted to start a garden, or even if you wanted to start baking, you want to start cooking. It doesn't always have to be art in the typical sense that we think art is, or that they say what art is, right? It's not always paintings and writing and whatever else, singing and all these things. The creative process allows you to get back in touch with yourself because while you're refining and editing, you are finding what is aligned and what is not, right? And everything that is not falls away. And therefore, you are becoming more yourself. So by the end of the process, you are more yourself. More of your soul is like embodied, right? You have embodied more of yourself. You are, oh, I get it now. And that's why as we go through the process, we find it so much easier to refine and edit. You can see something and say, no, 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 that's got to go, right? And then sometimes you can even skip that process altogether because you already know. So if I'm sticking with this content example, because this is where I was feeling this, or where I am feeling this perfectionism rearing its ugly head, at the outset, it's going to look like, for example, I was trying to make a piece of content about this, and I must have filmed it 5 or 6 times, right? And I talk a lot, right? I'm talking. So I'm talking and talking and talking. And I finally chose one of the videos. I edited it down. And by the end of it, I was like, it doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. I sent it to a friend. I sent it to someone that I trust deeply. Her name is India, and she is fantastic with this process. Seeing something, knowing what it should remain and knowing what needs to go, right? She's like such a clear channel when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I sent it to my friend India, and I was like thinking about it as I sent it to her, and I'm going through it in my head. Why does it feel so weird? Why does it feel so off? And then finally it hit me, oh, okay, it's because I'm not speaking of it from the right perspective, right? I was more so just kind of relaying the download and saying you, even though I'm the one going through it and I'm the one that asked for the download, right? And I am trying to implement this now. I'm not trying. I am implementing it now, right? And just even thinking about it, having done it, I was like, okay. And then I start journaling to kind of get the thoughts out, right? To get the energy moving and out of my body. And as I'm journaling, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm doing the thing that they are telling me I'm supposed to be doing, right? And not supposed to be, but I am doing the process they're explaining, right? I'm fully experiencing it right now where I'm going through the process. It's messy. It doesn't look the way I imagine it to look or the way I want it to look because that would be easier. Quote, easier. I mean, is it actually easier to be doing stuff that's not aligned with you? I don't know. I don't think so. But I do know. And it's no. The answer is no. But anyway, so I'm here literally living the process in real time right after receiving this download. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. And now I've been seeing it everywhere, right? My husband and I were talking about an artist, a singer, and her trajectory, like from the first time that he found her on Instagram to where she is now, and how so much has changed for her, and her sound is totally different. And she went through the creative process. She started with something, and it's totally different than what she's doing now because she's gotten, I mean, I hope she's gotten into alignment, right? We can only speculate, right? So, but if I'm using this as an example of her actually refining and editing, who am I really? What is my sound really? What do I really want to do? What am I bringing and all these things? Then of course there's going to be a change. And that change means I am more myself. I have done that work. I have gone through that process. And so it's cool because you can just start to see it all over when you think of it in those terms. And I also so appreciative to receive this this download because so many people are like, trust the process, just trust the process, the gold is in the process. And it's like, okay, shut the fuck up. How is there gold in this process? Sometimes it's hard to see it. Sometimes it's hard to know, right? Even though hindsight's 2020, and there's always something you can take from any experience, right? You can always find something. And so I agree with that. But when you're in it and you don't have a concrete understanding of why the process is gold, for me, it makes it difficult. So my guides were like, this is why. This is why the creative process works in this way. It is to reconnect you to yourself. So I'll say it one more time. The creative process is meant to reconnect us with our soul at the deepest level. Because when we are going from the beginning to whatever the end is, and sometimes there is no end, we're just continuing and continuing, right? But during the process, when we are refining and editing, when we're chiseling away, we are revealing more of ourselves and we're stepping into more of ourselves. And that's the beauty of the process. Like that's what we're doing. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And so two of the things that came through too about, or they didn't come through to me like, but I've been seeing them, right? And they tied it all together for me. Like these are the two things that you can use to combat perfectionistic tendencies, right? Perfectionism tendencies, perfectionist, whatever. And it's using your imagination and messy action. I had someone tell me this, Ali Tate, she told me this in a workshop. She's like, you just got to take messy action. Doing something is better than doing nothing, which is so true, right? It's like having momentum is, you just want to be moving, right? You don't want to stay stagnant and just waiting for something, right? Like waiting for a catalyst, waiting, which is easier to do, I think. And of course, there's that line too of walking that when am I just doing things to do them? And when am I actually doing something that is helpful? And I think that that's where this process is really, that's what the work is. Like that's what you're working on is when you're making that progress and moving forward, you have to be able to take those moments of stillness, tune in, right? You need to pause and tune in. And it's who's to say how long that pause is, right? If you're working on something day in, day out, maybe the pause will be for a day. Maybe it'll be a week. Maybe it'll be 30 minutes. Who knows how long the pause is? You will know. You will know when the pause, how long to take a second and tune in with yourself, right? And that's also part of the process. You figure all this stuff out. And for every project, it's going to be different because every project is different. Everything has a spirit, everything has a consciousness. And that was one of the other big things that came through is how the creative process is spiritual. And how spirituality, I've been thinking about this so much recently, how spirituality is so much more than like new age spirituality, whatever that means, right? When whatever people are, they project onto it. But what spirituality really is just connecting to the spirit of something. And that's really all it is. So spirituality is connecting to the spirit, your own spirit. It's connecting to the spirit of the project that you're working on, the spirit of other people, the spirit of all, of everything, right? And so creating something is really giving us the opportunity to be spiritual with ourselves, with others, with the project, with whatever, with everything. And I just love that so much. It's so expansive and limitless, you know? There is no limit to it, which is really incredible. With perfectionism, there's a limit because you're like, this is what it needs to be. It needs to be this. It's so narrow. And with creation, it's like, let's just play, baby. What's going on? Let's mess around and see what we can do. And it's so much more, it's just so free. It's so free. Perfectionism is, they're shackles. It's like a shackle. And yeah, yep, that's what it is too. We're chained up by perfectionism, and creativity wants us to be free. And that's also why it's so hard for us to be creative, because a lot of us are not free. The way we think is the way it's coming from someone else. It's coming from somewhere else. The way we think and the way we do things isn't even the way we want to do them or the way we want to think. So we are not free. And so when creativity is begging us to free ourselves, we're like, well, no, I'm actually not free. I can't really do that right now. It's like that's how we're approaching things. So we need to be able to bust out of this. So two of the things were using your imagination and messy action. So your imagination is everything, right? Because your imagination creates your reality. It's like your internal world creates your external world. It's a direct reflection of you. It is a mirror. And so if you are imagining the way that something is supposed to be, and it's like this, it's small, it's narrow, it's quote perfect, whatever that is, then that's almost it's like impossible, right? You're too big to fit here. I'm not going to say it. Okay, you are too expansive to fit in this tiny box that you're creating for yourself, right? And so the friction is just, it's too much. The tension is too much. It's not possible, and it's definitely not sustainable. So we need to start using our imaginations to expand our way of thinking. So it's like, imagine if doing this thing is the way that I can achieve the manifestation that I'm wanting to achieve, whether that's an internal state of being or an actual thing. So imagining that, let's say for me, again, the social media. Imagine if posting to social media is the way that I become the most abundant, expansive version of myself that I always have dreamed of being. Imagine if that's the way to do it, right? And then if I can start to really feel that, then it starts to actually change the way that I'm thinking about social media, the way that I'm thinking about approaching a project or whatever. And it's like you're playing, right? Imagination, it involves so much play. And that is where that's the gold. That's where the gold is, right? That's what children do all day long. And it's so fun for them. They just are imagining all types of shit and they have no cares in the world if they think it's real or not. To them, it's all real. And it actually, that's true. That's so true, right? If we imagine something, we can make it a reality. That's it. And so then you're changing the way that you're thinking by using your imagination, and then you're taking messy action and you're like, "Okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it." And it's okay to be messy and it's okay to be me and it's okay to show up this way. It's okay. Um yeah, and I feel like the two of them together can really help, like they help each other. Um yeah, and I think the hardest part for me is like just do it. Just do it. But this is also why I just decided, okay, I'm going to sit here and record and who knows how long it'll be. It could be 10 minutes, but who are we kidding? It's 22 minutes. Because I don't know if I can just talk for 10 minutes to you guys. Um anyway, I think this is most of it. I'm sure more will come through. I'm sure that I'll have more to say on this because it feels so big and it feels so important. But I think the biggest thing is to just know that creativity, creation, the creative process, whatever you want to call it, is really meant to get you back in touch with yourself. And it's really meant to connect you to spirit, all spirit, any spirit. Oh my gosh, you see, the sun is like, whew, it was cold 5 seconds ago. Anyway, yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Perfectionism comes from outside of us. Kids aren't worried about being perfect. They're not worried. They're just doing, they're trying things out. They're experimenting. They're trusting in they are trusting in the process because they're just having a good time. You know, they're just playing around. If they build something and it knocks down, of course, they're going to be frustrated, but they just keep going. They'll just do it again. And maybe, oh, maybe actually I have a better idea. You know, it's like when you see kids in their element like that, it's so incredible. And it's such a lesson too. And as a parent, you're constantly trying to instill that in your child too, where, oh, you built something and you knocked it and it got knocked down or it just fell over. That's really frustrating. But guess what? We can start again. It's okay. And then look, now we know that that doesn't need to go there because the foundation isn't level. So now we need to make the foundation a little more stable, right? That's part of the process too. And then they light up when that happens. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you're right. And now I can add this." It's so incredible. And so the frustration is short-lived, right? If we allow it to be short-lived. Because it's okay to be frustrated, right? It's okay to be like, okay, I feel like I'm banging my head into a wall. And then that's the opportunity to pause and tune in with yourself again. Where do I need to go from here? What do I need to get rid of? What do I need to call in? What's ready to be implemented? And that, like, those are the moments where, okay, I'm starting to see myself. I'm starting to understand this more. And, you know, as you go on and on and on in the process, you're just becoming more and more yourself. So refining and editing is so much easier at the end because you've done all of the alignment. You're back, you're right there with yourself. There's more of you within your body. You are like the light is brighter so you can see so much easier. You know exactly what needs to go. You know exactly what you need to do. And if you don't know, you don't freak out about it because you know that it will come when you're quiet, when you're tuned in, maybe when you least expect it, but you trust the process at this point. So I think that's, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I really hope that this resonated and I would love to hear your thoughts about it. And I would love, love, love to see you at the next AA meeting. And if you're interested in learning and living your soul purpose in 90 days, click the link and let me know because I would love to work with you. You guys, I'm so happy. to be with you today. Thank you. Thank you. And also, Christmas, you guys, I started already. We've put everything up already because I needed to. Okay. So I have my little wreath and I have a little Christmas tree here that you can't really see, but you can see the lights reflecting. Anyway, I love ya. See ya.